All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for coming by. We're having a really fun time doing some fundamentals this week. I'm in the studio. I decided to put out some colors, and in this video we're going to cover each of the different swatches that we do here, a couple of different shapes to practice up on. We're going to be looking at our colors. How do we make our, let's say for instance, our cerulean blue? How do we lighten and darken that cerulean blue? We'll cover that. You add a little bit of burnt umber or a little bit of white to lighten it, or a little bit of burnt umber to darken it, and then we'll do that process with a number of colors that we use in our palette of colors that we have. We'll also talk about just mixing some fun colors of your own to come up with different varieties of colors, color mixtures. We did a little bit of a sky wash here with a sunset feel. You'll notice in this video it's going to be just real straightforward, fun, no hassles. I also have all the paints. They'll be on the right hand side of the screen over here, and then this will be on the left, all the colors that we're going to be using and mixing, and this will be over on the right hand side. So you're going to see everything on screen here. I just wanted to zoom in so you can see the color swatches up close, but once we get started you'll see that we have, again, the color palette will be out as well as this on screen, the whole thing, and we'll be all set. So thanks for stopping by to paint along, and we'll get started right now. All right, so now we'll just keep moving on here and get started. First thing, when doing these exercises, we could just use a standard pencil. This is a B pencil. I think it's a little softer. And we'll just start out and make a few shapes we can paint. We'll do a square. And we'll do a circle here. And we'll just create some basic shapes here. Maybe a rectangle. All right, so what I'll do is, I did have some leftover paint. So I had some blue and some brown left on a sheet, and I'll just do that. And colors are, you can do any mixtures of colors. You know, you could work with any color mixtures you want. No real, some white, I had some white left there. All right. And I'll start out using this number 4 flat brush. I'll just mix up a dark red, blue, and brown. A little bit of red, a little bit of blue, a little bit of brown. Nice, good dark mixture here. And we'll do a square here. And again, this is just the fun part of oil painting, when you just want to do some warm-up exercises and practice up on your brushwork a little bit. This will help with accuracy, so when you're painting, this is more or less, I'm holding my hand and resting my hand on the board itself, and then you can lift up and then practice having your hand suspended above your working surface so that you're not leaning on anything. You can just use your brush, and then it's almost like you have the brush applying a little bit of pressure to the brush as it's on the surface, the canvas. This is a hardboard canvas. And then you can just, swirl the brush around to get a nice circular shape here. And then kind of a purple color. Violet's pretty dark too. If we just take the French ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson there, or oil paint, we can get a really dark, really good dark here, like this, for our triangle. French ultramarine blue. And I still have leftover brown and red in the brush here, so it, but all of these relatively very, very dark. So these would be 3 colors you can use on your palette that you know you'll get some really beautiful dark colors and dark tonal values as you paint. If you want to make something very dark, like a could be a roof of a house or a building. It could be rocks in a landscape, or some dark shadows in a landscape in some mountainous areas. And then I'll rinse off my brush here. Maybe we'll just try, I'll usually rinse off my brush quickly and then take a paper towel and just dry off my brush with the paper towel so that it's just damp, if any, hardly any water on here. It's pretty much just damp, but there's no water on the brush, and then we can go straight in. And let's get some more color here. I'll put some more yellow here. This is a cadmium yellow. I'll put some cadmium yellow there. Maybe we'll do a little bit of viridian green here. So I'm just going to put out my standard palette colors that I have that come with the set. I'm using the Winsor & Newton Artisan water mixable oil colors. All my art supplies like brushes and paints, that's down below in the comments section. I have everything, links to Amazon. I pretty much get all my art supplies from Amazon. They have everything pretty much that I've found over the years that I buy on a continuous basis. And what else do we have? Some more red here. We'll use some cadmium red. And then maybe some yellow ochre. And then let's put out some cerulean blue. All right, so that's a good selection. And now maybe I'll just try a couple of I'll try to make a elongated rectangle here. And it's kind of easy to do with the flat brushes. Are really wonderful for doing any kind of like square type shapes. And then maybe I'll pick up some green, viridian. And I'm just taking the brush and moving it across the hardboard canvas here. I'll rinse off the brush. I just have a water container, a rubberized water container here. To my right, I rinse off my brush well. Then I just dry off any excess water on a paper towel. And I'll come over here and we'll pick up some more color. Cadmium red. And I'll rinse my brush off again and we'll try some yellow, cadmium yellow. This is fun just to look at the colors too and kind of notice the beautiful color selections that we have in our paint set here. And again, I'll rinse the brush well and then dry it off here on the paper towel. And we'll get some yellow ochre. And these are all straight paint. No, at this point, we didn't add any white or black or brown to them to darken or lighten them. We just wanted to go straight paint. Let's see how that looks, and you can kind of see the real beautiful colors that we have. And let's see what else. Maybe we can now introduce a little bit of white to these. So we'll take this blue. Add some white to that. Now we can see we have a lighter version of the cerulean blue. It's lighter in tonal value, quite a bit darker and a fair amount lighter now with just a little bit of white paint. This is like a really nice sky color or ocean. Then we can do the same with our Viridian green. Okay, we introduce a little bit of white into our Viridian green and we have a really nice, again, very much like ocean water. And I'll rinse off the brush again. We'll take the paper towel, dry off the water from the brush. And then we'll try some white with our red here. Okay, and then we have a flower type color. Just introducing a little bit of white to that red, the cadmium red, and you have a nice pinkish color. We can use that for flowers, facades of buildings. And then let's try a little bit of white into our cadmium yellow. looks good. So a little bit of white introduced into the cadmium yellow, and then we have a really good looking goldish orange color. And then let's try the same with our yellow ochre. I'm trying to bring my white over here. All right, so we add a little bit of white to the yellow ochre. That's another nice kind of a golden color. You can use that for skies. All right, let's take a quick break and we'll keep working on doing some color mixing now. We've added white. Maybe we'll add some brown and darken up these colors too, so that you can kind of see how you can lighten and darken your colors on your palette at any time to get the desired effect that you might want to match whatever your subject matter may be. All right, so I'm going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, let's continue with darkening up these colors now that we've cerulean blue, viridian green, we have cadmium red, cadmium yellow, and yellow ochre. We painted those across. Now we've added a little bit of white paint to each of these, and you see the effect you have when you add some white to the paint. Now we're going to try a little bit of burnt umber into these colors. Let's see if we can darken these up a bit. So we'll start out here again with cerulean blue, and I'll just take a little bit of that burnt umber. See how that. Okay, that darkens it up a lot. Wow. And then we can always try another bit of, so I rinse off my brush, maybe a little bit less. Let's see, maybe we'll make 2 here. And we'll just put a little bit there. All right, so that's, now we can see the blue still, the cerulean blue, you can see it. This one here kind of got a little bit too dark, but we can still, that's fine. That's what this is about, you know, this exercise of painting swatches. We learn about our colors, how to mix. Again, I rinse off the brush really well, dry it off on a paper towel really well as I go. And now we'll try some viridian green. And again, viridian's quite dark on its own. So if we just add a little touch of brown to it, we'll see what that effect is. And there we go. Yep. I could see that really looking good for like landscape paintings, painting trees in the outdoors, nature, plants, floral paintings. Okay, so you can see how that's a bit darker than the stock paint right out of the tube. And again, I'll rinse off the brush really well, dry off any paint, and water. And we're going to try the cadmium red with a little bit of brown. Let's see if we can darken that up a little bit. And then that looks really good. That's like a clay color or a brick color. That really looks good. And then we'll try the same with our yellow, cadmium yellow. Let's try that. Touch of brown. And that is pretty interesting. That almost looks very close to yellow ochre. Again, adding just a little bit of the burnt umber to these colors as we're working our way across. You can see the really good changes you can have with your colors, shifting them lighter and darker. And we'll try the yellow ochre now with some burnt umber, touch of burnt umber. And that almost looks like a raw umber. A little bit darker with a little bit of brown in there. Okay, looks good. Good. Now, I might take a few colors and mix a few. I think I'll try some cerulean. I might have to get some more cerulean. And then maybe a little bit of alizarin crimson. That's an interesting color, kind of like a grayish blue. Okay, let's try. I'm having just some fun mixing any old colors. Let me see here. Let me try red and some Viridian. And that's a very, very dark mix right there. Viridian is quite dark. By adding some of that cadmium red, it really does darken it quite a bit more. That looks good. Okay, I rinse off my brush, dry off on a paper towel. And let's see, let's try yellow ochre and green. And that makes a good warm green. This could be a field, grass, trees, foliage, or anything else that we can, if whatever our subject matter is, we can just find subject matter. If you like a specific color, you can, I do that often. Sometimes if I want to paint like a painting of a house or a building, I might try to look around online and find something that's has an interesting color. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, let me try some French ultramarine blue and some cadmium yellow. And again, that's a really good dark. And it's really fun to work with your brush and okay, I'll go with some alizarin crimson. With some green. Okay, and maybe we'll try a little bit of white. I think we'll mix French ultramarine blue, touch of iridium, That's a pretty good sky color. Okay, now let's see if we can. Now let's see if we can mix in some of that sky color and see if we can blend it into the paint there. And then maybe some red. Kind of a sunset feel. Maybe a little bit of a yellowish, golden yellow. Yeah, you know, color mixing is really fun. Just trying to put a little bit of blue over here. So if I was trying to see if we can blend this all together almost. And we can even maybe over here. And some more of that blue. And I'm just trying to square this off a little bit. Keep it sort of even. All right, I hope we had a lot of fun. We're going to be back again very, very soon to create more paintings here. Every once in a while, we'll just take a little bit of a redirection on some fundamentals and some basics like this, practicing up on some swatches, looking at colors, mixing colors, lightening and dark, adding white to lighten up your colors, adding some brown, some blue, some reds, some darks to make some darker tonal values to kind of get used to the full range of colors and also the lightening and darkening process, as well as mixing colors, figuring out some fun colors to work with that you might want to try out for a painting. For instance, this might be like a sky wash, kind of like a sunset feel, bluer sky up top, and then it kind of gets more toward the oranges and reds toward the bottom of the sky. Just some fun ideas, that's all. So we will see you very, very soon. Thanks for joining along. I'm hoping you'll, if you haven't subscribed, I'm hoping you'll consider subscribing. This way you'll be meeting up with us every 2 weeks we get together. So it's a good pace. We can work on our paintings on the off weeks, and then when we get together, we'll start something new. Whether it's a project like this or if we're doing a painting, which usually we're always doing paintings. But once in a while, we will do some fundamentals like this. And we'll see you again soon. Happy painting, everybody.